So as we said that insecurities are lack of confidence. They are lack of, when we doubt our ability to do something, when we doubt our ability to be something in front of some person, that's when we start feeling insecure. So insecurities जब भी discuss होती है, then confidence comes as a part and parcel of it. That if you're feeling insecure, the moment you get confidence, the moment you feel more confident, you're gonna start challenging your insecurity. And that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna crack the code. We're gonna to dive deep, understand what insecurities are. We are also going to reflect on our own insecurities. So get ready a little. And then we're gonna see how we can crack it and feel more confident about those. Okay. I want you to, just a second. I want you to think of a time in your workplace where you felt like a work high, those high moments of work life when we are appreciated, when something has gotten, some result has come out very well, and when we have passed the stage, we've gotten a promotion, any moment that you would count as your work life ka high, work life high moment. Just think about that. Think about what was happening, what were the people around, who were the people around, what were you feeling, exactly what was the situation, क्या हुआ था, क्या किसी ने प्रेज किया था, या कोई बहुत चैलेंजिंग प्रोजेक्ट कंप्लीट हुआ था, या कोई प्रमोशन मिला था, या कोई अनएक्सपेक्टेड चीज हुई थी जो दैट मेड यू फील वेरी कॉन्फिडेंट, वेरी गुड about yourself. What was that situation? And once you are in that picture, think about what were your strengths at that moment, in that situation, in that challenging project. What strengths of your personality came out in that moment? Was it clear communication? Was it that you had a lot of resilience? Was it that you handled the team well? What strengths did you portray in those situations, in that high moment of your work? All right. Can I hear from one or two people? Anybody who would like to share, okay, this was my workplace high moment and this is my strength that I showed. All right. I'm gonna take that as no response and move ahead. Um, 1 second. Now, since we've talked about a high moment, let's also talk about and think about what are the situations that in our workplaces that make us feel insecure. So, what kind of challenges when we come across with makes us feel, less in confidence, a little less, makes us doubt our ability, ki, will I be able to do this, makes us feel like an imposter, that I don't belong here, why am I getting all of this? So there are many situations where we feel different insecurities in our work life, and I would like you to think about those. And while you think, you can scan the QR on this slide and put in your responses. So they are going to be anonymous, but this reflection is important for you to, bring up what goes on in your head, so that when we talk about solutioning, you can pick up your kind of solution.
Nikita, can you just present the poll on Mentimeter so that people can also see the results?
Yeah, just one moment. Shruti, I'm unable to see live results. Would you be able to do that?
I'll do it.
Yeah.
Yes. I hope the screen is visible.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Nikita, can you? It says you're still presenting.
I will stop 1 second. Can you do now?
Yeah. Now you can start putting in your responses and we will get to see the answers here.
Shruti, could you share the QR as well? I think that was missed. QR code.
Okay, once.
Yeah.
Yeah, pasted the link in the chat response. So a lot of you getting feedback from a supervisor is a little insecure. Okay. Taking on a new unfamiliar project. Shall we move on to the next one? I think we've got a good amount of responses. Okay, I can still see people signing it up.
Wow.
All right, let's move on to the next one. How often do you doubt your abilities to perform well at work? Okay, a lot of them have said sometimes, often. Okay, we also have a bunch who says rarely. Lovely. Sometimes. Okay. Almost always. Few of them. Okay. Shall we move on to the next? I hope everybody has filled it up. So sometimes has been the majority of their response, with a few feeling often. Rarely, we have a good number also. Okay. 3 of them, almost always. All right. Which factor do you believe contributes most to your workplace insecurities? Personal doubts and self-criticism. Okay. Lack of recognition and feedback. Okay. Interesting. This will give you also a perspective of whether, it is more an internal form of insecurity or is it an external form of insecurity? So a lot of you agree with lack of recognition or feedback, is it? Okay, the last one. How comfortable are you in seeking help from colleagues when facing challenges at work?
Wow, this one looks very good.
So the colleagues are supportive. Nice. I'll just give it a 10 more seconds if some of you are still filling it up. Right, right. So over to you, Nikita. I think we have got some very insightful results from what are some possible insecurities. Yeah, please take the lead.
Thank you for sharing, people. So these were just 4 questions, but it might have made you think about the situations that you will end up in and the kind of insecurities that you face, right? Now I'm going to just ask you to just read this little story and uh, read it with yourself. Take a moment, and then we'll go ahead. Okay. Does anybody have any thoughts to share about what they feel when they read this?
Perfectionist approach.
Yeah, yeah.
Highly relatable.
Mm. What does Sarah? So yes, perfectionist approach, highly relatable for somebody. Uh, does it also make somebody else think of any other similar story from their life? Okay. So this is a reference based on how insecurity manifests in work life place, how it can look like, where it can stem from. So while you see a person who is having this perfectionist approach and they want to be on top of everything, there could really be something in the background in their childhood that might have caused this behavior, and it's actually making them move in a similar pattern in their adulthood. So we all have to think about the insecurities that we have right now identified for ourselves in our workplaces, and then think about where has it stemmed from, what is the cause, where is it coming from, what happened in childhood. So do you have a story like Sarah's in your head about yourself, or about anybody around you that you see very actively, that you interact with very actively. If you have a story, I invite you to think what are the specific thoughts that run in that very moment when when you are in that situation, in that particular place where your confidence goes up and down and you are behaving a certain way, and which experience from your childhood adds up to it. So I'm going to take 5 to 10 seconds for you guys to reflect. It would be really great if somebody comes up and shares if they have a story of themselves or a colleague or somebody they interact very closely with. And if they can see it very well, that how it comes, how it manifests in their workplace. All right. Is somebody trying to share? I can.
Yes. I have seen many people that they have achieved higher grades at the time of schooling or in the time of graduation. They were always on a highest rank,
Right.
and after that they were obsessed with themselves, and they always thought that they are superior, they knows everything. And then after in the on in life, I've seen them not much growing by themselves, or not taking efforts on themselves. So apart from this, I have seen that many a times they always think that ki coming second, third, or performing mediocre would be a bad thing, and they are always fearful for getting failures, facing failures. So even I feel that ki failure is also a lesson, and you can come out and learn from it many things, and you can achieve success after failure. Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. So, very right. Like somebody who has always topped in their school may have had an experience where they've gotten a lot of validation only when they are, getting certain marks, they're getting certain, position. And then they get very attached to that position, and their confidence also start depending on that particular position. So when it goes away, when they're not topping in the world, all the confidence shatters sometimes. And that's how it happens in workplaces, that when we join in, when we are a fresher, all of us started somewhere. The confidence, if somebody says anything, or uh, if if there is a very challenging situation that is very unfamiliar, that is very new to you, after all the college and school life of many good things that have happened, एक सेकंड में से कॉन्फिडेंस शैटर होता है initially. And then you learn that workplaces are about different challenges, workplaces are about new things that you come facing. So as we evolve in our workplace also, our insecurities also evolve. They don't remain the same. So when you were a joinee, when you were a fresher in your work, to now, wherever you stand now, you might have seen that you've also bridged the gap. You have come over some insecurities. You've developed confidence around things. Am I right? Is it relatable? Can people say yes, no?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So moving ahead, where does this this self-doubt come from? Where in the past, what has happened that, we keep coming through these situations where we feel ki our ability is lesser, we are lesser. There are some roots of these self-doubts, and we can see it on the screen as well. There are some early childhood experiences that add up to our self-doubts. We are going to talk more about that. There are some comparisons with others when we have lack of support, when we feel that, even from colleagues or bosses, or even at home, when there is lack of support, we have self-doubt. When there is fear of judgment from people around, from the world, there is self-doubt. When there is, always this want to be a perfect person, there's always going to be self-doubt that comes with perfectionism, and some past failures that can add up and they can break your confidence. So these are some roots of self-doubt. You can analyze, you can reflect, you can see what all has added up to your self-doubt currently. And how does this self-doubt show up in our workplace? Like, what happens if I have a bad childhood experience that has told me ki, okay, I get very nervous on stage. How does it show up on my workplace if I don't have a workplace where I wouldn't have to go up on stage? But how does that fear of stage, or how does that fear of speaking in front of people come up in my workplaces when somebody asks me to present something, when somebody asks me to take a team meeting? Then I might feel insecure, I might feel nervous, I might feel that I don't have the ability. That's how it manifests. If I have fear of judgment, then my social skills at a workplace, connecting with colleagues, all of that starts getting impacted. So we are going to show you some examples here of how some early life experiences can show up, manifest in workplace as an adult. So if you read that early life experience, like as a child, if you couldn't form friendships, how does it show up? How does that add up to your current workplace insecurities? This is how it can happen. It becomes hard for you to develop professional relationships, and it gets difficult being confident in social spaces where there are like more than 10 people in the room, 5 people in the room, interacting, doing a group project. If there has been lack of appreciation during your childhood or in your life in general, then how it shows up is that you might not want to take or give any compliments. If there is compliments only when tasks are seen, if as a child you were only given appreciation whenever you finished something or whenever you did something on top, then it can turn into perfectionism tendencies. So for somebody who can relate to perfectionism tendency, think back in your childhood, think what are the incidences where you've been complimented only for your tasks. Reflect on that, and then this is the manifestation of that particular thing. What is the effect of past experiences of being lied to, when you've been ditched, when you've felt that there are too many lies and too many covers in your childhood? It leads to distrust. It leads to difficulty in trusting people, in delegating work. When you can't put, if your insecurity is so much that I want to do everything by myself, and I can't, just like Sarah's case, I can't give my work to somebody. It's the effect of you not being able to trust people. And also, if you've been heavily criticized for your mistakes as a child, as a teenager, then it turns into mistrust in self. Then it turns into, I want to do everything by myself. So I'm going to invite you to think which one of these you relate to, and also think about which childhood experience or which experience in your life has added to this insecurity. All right. Does somebody have anything to share or ask here? Okay. I'm going to move ahead and show us this little video.
And so if somebody's insecure, we have to over and over and over again prove to them, because we don't know where they came from. We don't know what kind of trouble they got in before, for being honest. And so if somebody's insecure, we have to over and over and over again prove to them, because we don't know where they came from. We don't know what kind of trouble they got in before, for being honest, right? Or how they were raised. We don't know. And so we have to total empathy and just prove to them that if they make a mistake, they're going to get helped, not hurt. They're going to get supported, not yelled at. And the first time they won't believe you. They think it's a game. They think it's a con. It's a trick. The second time, maybe. And we just have to keep at it. That every time, I used to have somebody on my team who would regularly lie to me, right? Because she would rather lie to me than tell me that she made a mistake. And if I saw the lie, I would ask so many questions to get her to say to me, I screwed up. I'd be like, well, this doesn't make sense. Because I can't say you're lying to me, right? I just say, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. If this adds up to this, then why is it that? And the lie would get bigger, and then she would yell at me about how I don't trust her. And then at the end, I have to be like, listen, it clearly doesn't add up. I'm okay if it doesn't add up, if you made a mistake. Just tell me, and I'm good, and we'll move on. But when you deceive me, I'm going to ask you so many questions to get to the truth that it's going to get worse and worse and worse. I had to have that conversation with her probably 50 times before little cracks started to show, where she showed up to me once where one number wasn't there, and she looked at me and said, I made a mistake. And I went, cool, thanks. Alan Mullally puts it brilliantly. He says, you have a problem. You are not the problem. Right? So if something goes wrong, we have a problem, but you are not the problem. And that's the point is, we've too many times told people that they're the problem. So I think it's just going to take time and patience, and you have to do the hard work of helping that person build up their confidence again.
All right.
And so
1 second. So this brings a very important reflection. So throughout the session until now, I think we've looked into our insecurities, and we've also observed that, okay, this person shows this insecurity, or this person in my life shows this kind of behavior when they are insecure, or when they are, underconfident, or when they are trying to overpower a space. And insecurities comes out in very different way for different people. But here is something about insecurities, that they also can be handled by people around. They can be supported. They can be, made better if you seek support, if you, go around, if you observe somebody and just learn of what they are doing, of how they are handling that particular situation where you are feeling very inconfident. And I loved this bit of you are not the problem, because often we end up relating and putting our insecurity as a part of our personality. Oh, I'm a very inconfident person, or oh, I am very this person, I'm very non-creative person, I'm a very stage fearing person. We add these labels to our personality, and this very well differentiates that we are not the problem. It's not me who is a non-creative person. It's not me who is not who is a stage fearing person. It's just an insecurity inside me that I can handle. So I'd like to invite you to see this yin of the insecurity, the left side of the circle, where all the insecurities lie: the busyness, avoidance, fear, comparison, perfectionism, doubt, reactivity. All these things that are our behaviors, that are our manifestations to our insecurities, how they can be turned into stillness, emotional mastery, values, creative character awareness. So if your insecurities comes out, if your insecurity manifests itself in your workplace in perfectionism, like if you are wanting to control everything that you do and make it top right, can you also start practicing compassion? Because that's going to help you bring down your perfectionism tendencies. If you are too much in doubt, if you are too much in always here and there with decisions, can you start trusting? Can you start putting trust on other person? Can you start putting trust on your own decisions? If you are very fearful, if you are every decision you take is out of fear, can you start gaining emotional mastery? Can you start working on your emotional quotient? If your insecurity is that I am not productive enough, I have to be busy always, I have to be keep doing to improve, I have to keep doing the work again and again and for hours and hours, can you start practicing stillness? Can you start putting in some effort to start being still for 5 minutes a day, for 6 minutes a day? So different insecurities and different manifestations, how you can do, how you can control, how you can work on them, how you can just sorry, transfer your behaviors. We are going to do a little activity now. And sorry, if you have a pen and paper, great. If you can open notes on your phone, great. I invite you all to now open yourself up to this word of self insecurity, of whatever you makes you feel inconfident, whatever situation, whatever worry that you have in your workplace, and write it. So it can be 5 in number, 7 in number, 10 in number, how many ever you want to. We have 2 minutes for you to write anything that worries you in your workplace about yourself, about your own confidence, about your own behavior, about your own tasks. Can you write it on a paper or on a note? Can I get a few thumbs up? Yes, no?
Yes.
Thank you. I hope we all are writing our worries, about our insecurities, about the things that cause lack of confidence in our workplace. Because all of this can really put your speed down. It can take away your pace that in which you can grow. Do we have 3, 4, 5? Can somebody give me some examples of what they have written? Can anyone share on a chat or unmute themselves and share? What is the worry that comes out? What is one insecurity, or what are different behaviors that you feel they cause you to feel insecure in your workplace? Or what is one belief that you have about yourself? Just like I shared that, okay, I feel that I've constantly had this constantly had this thought that I'm very not so creative. I'm not a creative person. Don't come to me when you want like creativity, art, and stuff like that. Or don't come to me when you want to develop, uh, a content or social media content. I'm very bad with it.
I can share one belief. As
Yeah.
in, I feel everybody is talking about always about work experience, seniority, and how they know about everything. I feel each and everyone has a experience in a life since they have from birth to till now. So they are very well experienced, and they are behaving as per their experience. So we should not think that someone is junior, someone is senior. Everyone is human. Everybody is tend to make mistake. Everyone is learning till the end of their life, and everybody can perform better. Even sometimes junior can perform better than senior. It's not that only senior can perform better always. Yeah, that's the one insecurity I feel. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. So if you all have written, I respect that we cannot share. I understand that we cannot share in such a forum all our insecurities and what we feel in our workplaces. But since you've taken this time out, taken this hour out, and since you and I are here sitting on this evening, I invite you to do just this little one thing with me. If you have written a piece of worry or something that, that worries you in your workplace, that takes away your confidence, just choose one of those and put reframe it into a positive or constructive statement. So, for example, like I said, that, I feel I'm a very non creative person. I can construct it into a positive statement by saying that I am a creative person. My creativity has its own pace. If I have written a statement like, I cannot talk in a group of 10 people, can I convert that statement, reframe that statement, and write that I can talk in a group of people when I start feeling comfortable? If there is a statement which says that, I am scared of my boss, I am always scared of somebody who is in a higher position than me, can you reframe it into a positive statement or a constructive statement that it takes me some time to connect with the person who is in a higher position than me? So here I'm not asking you to challenge, okay, if you believe that I'm a non-creative person, I'm not saying that follow an assumption and say ki, I'm a creative person. Think about what are your insecurities around creativity, where is that stemming from, and just reframe the sentence. Okay, since it's a big platform and there are many people, I invite all of you to just put the sentence, the worry and the reframe sentence, and if anybody needs help, they can put it on my personal chat and I can help you reframe it. So we're going to just take 2 more minutes. If you're getting stuck in reframing your sentence, you can put it personally in my chat box and I can help you reframe it. Okay, while I'm responding to the people who have sent me on direct messages, while I'm helping them reframe their insecurities, for others who have done it, who are feeling that, okay, I have reframed my sentence and I'm happy with it, I would really like you to take this time, and it'll be really good if you could just scan this and give us a little feedback for how this hour went for you. What did you understand? How it was, it information wise? How was it facilitation wise? There are just 2 3 questions and it will take quick 2 minutes for you to do it. Thank you so much for everybody who joined. It'll be really nice if we can all scan and answer just these 2 3 questions as a part of feedback. And then I can take open questions as well. We have exactly 5 to 7 minutes to do that.
Yes. Thanks, Nikita. If you have any questions, if you want to write it in the private message also, please do it. So Nikita can take it up. But rest everybody, thank you so much for joining the session. I hope it's some way or the other been helpful for you as well. Yes, there are questions. If there are questions, please drop them in the chat. Okay, I don't see any questions. If there isn't any questions, we can wrap up the session. If anybody wants to unmute and say something, that's also, please do that. If you want to be anonymous, you can just rename your names as well. It's that easy. Yeah.
I think we don't have to be anonymous to share a feedback on how well the training was. So I'm really happy that this was a very very wonderful training and very useful one. Thanks, Nikita.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Pradeep. If anybody has any questions, please drop them in the chat. Or again, as I said, anonymously if you want to ask. All right, I think there are no more questions. I can't see anything in the chat. Nikita, do you have any questions from your chat?
So yeah, I have received a question on how can we handle workload,
Hmm.
and I think um, we all I think we all go through this. I mean, it's beyond insecurity and beyond this thing. But if I take it to confidence level, actually, it is when if there is a underlying belief that I cannot take up anything more than I like to take, or I cannot handle pressure, or I cannot handle deadlines. All of these, underlying beliefs that we form or that we have about ourselves. Of course, boundaries, productivity, and how many hours in the day we have is limited, but the underlying, if you have workload pressure, if you feel that you always have workload, start thinking of where is this thought coming from, where is this belief coming from that I cannot handle it or I cannot take on this much, or is it really that the work is a lot? If it is really that the work is a lot, then you have to work on communicating and delegating. And if it is something else where there's always some pressure I feel with the amount of work I have, then you have to think about your beliefs around the work.
Yes, thank you so much.
I have answered that for the person who has asked us. Anything else? All
Yeah.
right. Okay. So I'm going to stop the screen share, and I'm going to thank you all guys for joining, and also for putting in your thoughts eventually private chat, on the normal chat, and for responding. I hope this gives you a little space to think about your insecurities, and you take much more and more space to stop, to pause, to think what is taking away my confidence, and to really act on it. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so
Thank you
much,
very
Nikita.
much.
A wonderful session, and thanks everybody for joining as well. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend ahead. And thanks again. Please keep on joining our sessions. We do sessions every Thursday at 5 p.m. So hope to see you all soon as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.